This is the Head Gravity Pro 2023. But enough of the introduction, I don't think you really need it. Let's talk about how it actually plays on the tennis court after you hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell for more original tennis content. The Head Gravity Pro sits at a weird position in terms of specs. It is weighing in at 11.6 ounces and 4 points head light when strung. But the weirdest specs are the 20mm beam throughout the racket, the 63 stiffness, and the 18x20 string pattern. From the baseline, this was an extremely stable and comfortable racket. It seemed damn near impossible to hit any baseline shot long due to the control, the string pattern, and the overall feel of the racket. For a closed string pattern, the Head Gravity Pro definitely had amazing spin potential, relatively speaking. The slices from the baseline for both forehands and backhands felt pretty good, but more on some slice caveats later in the section of this video. And this racket had exceptional plow through on and after contact with the ball. To boot, I would say this is the best change of direction racket I have ever play tested. You know that uncertainty of modern rackets when pulling the trigger down the line during cross-court rally? Well, the Head Gravity Pro, well, this version, did not have that, assuming you set up your legs and torso for the proper shot. This racket was extremely consistent and predictable if you want to flatten out and change direction on a cross-court rally point. This racket was also fantastic at the net. Not the best racket in the net in terms of control and pop, but it was certainly above average. And on serves, this racket was surprisingly potent in kick serves and slice serves given the closed string pattern specifications. Overall, this racket is fantastic for flattening out shots, taking the ball on the rise, and having a larger sweet spot. Well, kind of. The marketing isn't completely truthful when it comes to the larger sweet spot of this racket. But before we talk about the negatives, don't forget to follow me on Twitch, where I play Baldur's Gate 3, if you have any questions on a racket or gaming. This is certainly not a perfect racket. In fact, I believe it's extremely flawed. Because of the string pattern, the launch angle of the ball from the string bed from the baseline was extremely low. I felt like the higher I tried to brush up on the ball, the more the ball died into the middle of the net. I had to force myself to hit through the ball in a very horizontal manner with a very elevated flight path to get a decent height over the net. This might seem a bit contradictory to a low launch angle, but I believe this is necessary due to the lower powered nature of this racket. On top of that, hitting ground strokes below the knees were an absolute horrendous nightmare. I felt like I was hitting to the middle of the net or way too long if I made contact with the ball anywhere close to my kneecaps. As for the slices, sometimes the defensive slices floated a little bit higher than expected, which might give me more time to recover on a neutral position if I'm on defense, but I wanted most of my defensive slices to be a little bit lower and deeper into the tennis court. Also, as the specs might suggest, this racket is extremely sluggish and takes about 4 hours of hitting time to get used to the balance and swing weight. I'm telling you right now, you will be late, very late to a lot of ground strokes and service returns. Concerning the sweet spot, yes, this might have a significantly larger sweet spot due to the shape of the racket or whatever, but at a certain cost. You know that feeling on the ground stroke when you know you just connected with the ball and the shot will almost certainly be a winner? Although this racket is very comfortable in all parts of the string bed, that feeling doesn't happen nearly as often as most other rackets I've reviewed on this channel. The sweet spot might be larger on this racket, yes, but it is certainly not as rewarding. For the flat serves, this racket is extremely string sensitive for the launch angle of the ball. For a few string setups of this racket, it was near perfect, absolutely near perfect for flat serves. But for other string setups, I was clipping the tape way too much on the flat serves on a consistent basis. I will discuss the string setups with this racket later in this video. Also, this racket does not feel like it was made for the one-handed backhand due to the sluggishness, low launch angle, and the closed string pattern. So what do you guys think? Have you tried the 2023 Gravity Pro? Did I hit the nail on the head, or did I completely miss the mark? Leave a comment down in the section below, or better yet, join my Discord for where we talk about all things tennis. And for the string setup I had on this, it's the Luxilon Alu Power Rough 17 gauge on the mains, the Wilson Sensation Crosses at 52 pounds, Solinco Hyper G full bed at 47 pounds, Tourline Snapper 17 gauge at 47 pounds, and Solinco Hyper G Round at 47 pounds. The latter of the two strings I've mentioned will be up as reviewed shortly. I know it's been out for a while, so don't miss it. And before I wrote this review script, I had over 20 hours of straight hitting with this racket. But an enjoyable playtest nonetheless, and I switched to it. Even though it's not a perfect racket. But, as always guys, happy hitting.